In this tutorial I will be explaining how to make up the dog's head, and we are going to begin by embroidering the eyes. The centre of each eye lies approximately on row 18 of the pattern, and there are 7 clear stitches between each eye. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stitches between each of the eyes. The eyes are worked in a back stitch. So thread a sewing needle with yarn D and insert the sewing needle into the base of the head, bringing it out in the centre of one of the eyes like so. So insert it into the base and then bringing the needle out in the centre of one of the eyes like so. Leaving a length of yarn at the end that we can trim off later. So now we can begin the back stitch. So simply insert the needle like so and bring it under the stitches and out to make a stitch. Then once again, take the needle into the work and bring it out once more. And with these back stitches, we are aiming to make a nice circular shape. So continue making these back stitches until you have the desired shape and size of the eye that you require. And once you have completed one eye, you then need to fasten off and work on the other eye, aiming to make the eyes equally sized. I have now finished sewing the eyes, and as you can see I have built up the back stitches into a nice circular shape, like so. I am now going to attach the ears. So, firstly, I'm going to work a gathering thread through the cast on stitches to gather in the top of the ear. So, thread a needle, take it into the first stitch like so, and bring it through. Then continue to thread the yarn through all the stitches on the cast on edge like so. Then, once you get to the end, you need to pull the yarn to gather all the stitches, like so. And then this just gives a smaller, neater edge, which we will attach to the dog's head. So, firstly, you need to position the ear onto the head. So here is the head, and the ears are positioned like so. So as you can see, it's just a little bit in from the beginning of the decreased stitches here, and that's the position compared to the eyes. So once you've positioned the ear, you then need to carefully sew the ear onto the head. So simply position that on like so, and simply sew all the way along the stitches, attaching the ear to the head. I have now finished sewing on the dog's ears, as you can see, and I am just attaching the nose. When sewing on small or delicate pieces, I quite often like to split the yarn so that it is thinner, and then the yarn is not as obvious around the edges. I like to use Debbie Bliss Rialto double knitting yarn, which is made up of 6 individual strands. As you can see, if I just attempt to split this yarn up a little bit. And quite often what I like to do is perhaps split the yarn into 2, 3 or 4 strands so that it is a thinner yarn, like so. As I find that using a thinner yarn to sew around edges gives a much neater finish. So, with the dog's nose, as you can see, the yarn on the right is much thinner than the yarn on the left, as this yarn is just made up of 3 strands because I split the original yarn in half. So I just need to finish sewing on the dog's nose. I've already been around most of the edges and I've just got this last little bit here to finish off. So we'll just take the yarn into here, like so, catch the yarn, catch the stitch like so, pull that through, and there we go. I've now finished sewing on the nose, and I'll just take this yarn back through like so, and then I'll trim this yarn end off at the end. I now need to decide on the dog's mouth. So, looking at the yarn here, that's a little bit too thick, I think, for the dog's mouth. So I'm going to just split it in half, and then I'm just going to use 3 strands, like so, for the dog's mouth. So let me just, yes. So we'll just take this one to one side for now. There we go. And now we can begin the dog's mouth. So sewing the dog's mouth is really a personal choice, and this is really what gives the toy animal the most character. So I'm just going to thread my sewing needle with the yarn. Like so. So let's begin. So with the dog's mouth, I think I'm going to go for quite a small mouth. So I think we'll begin by taking this yarn downwards like this, and we'll go into here, like so, and perhaps we'll bring the needle out at about this point. And the beauty of working with yarn, that is, if you make a mistake, it's really very easy to undo it. So, and then perhaps we'll take the yarn back up to the top. So at this point you can decide whether you want your dog to have a happy smiley mouth, or perhaps a more serious mouth. It really is a matter of personal choice, and quite often it is trial and error, and it does take a few attempts sometimes to get that smile just right. So do I want to go for that? Let's try it and see. So I'm going to take the yarn back into the centre and bring it out in a similar position on the other side. Maybe we'll try that. Not quite even, so let's go down a stitch. Perhaps take it underneath this one, like so. And we'll try that. Again, still not quite even. And again, if you do want to undo a stitch like so, you just simply need to pull the yarn through and start again. Now, as I said, doing the mouths really is a case of trial and error, so I might take mine to one side, have a little play with it until I come up with that perfect mouth. You might want to do the same. And after a few attempts, I decided to go for a cheeky little smile, as you can see. But it really is up to you how you would like to do your mouth.